indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the East Cleveland School Board meeting will now come to order, and I thank everyone who has come here tonight. Good to see you. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the agenda for this evening.
May I do the roll call, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you need to know who's here.
Okay, Ms. Stedmeyer Walls.
Yes.
Ms. Felton.
Yes.
Ms. Sanders.
Yes.
Ms. Eldermeyer.
Yes.
Dr. Rice.
She's gonna be running late, but she said she'll be here. Okay, everyone is here, we have a quorum. Now, may I have someone make a motion that we accept the agenda for today?
Madam President, I make a motion that we accept the agenda.
Can I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. It's been moved and second that we accept the agenda for today.
Any questions?
Any questions?
And online voting is open.
Okay. And for those of you who are new, the online voting is on the screen up here so you can see when we do everything. In fact, the agenda is going to be on the screen.
Ms. Sanders, are you able to see that?
I just,
Okay.
wait, I want to get it properly. Sorry. Yes, there we are.
All votes are in, motion passes.
Thank you very much. We have a little someone here to see us this evening. I'm so happy to hear that. The Chambers Community Center Parent Engagement person is here. And we have Faith Dickens, who is one of the staff members there, who's going to give us a presentation on what that organization is.
Good evening, Pedro, and each of the board members, and Ms. Witt. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to share information about our parent and community engagement strategy for the East Cleveland City School District. My name is Faith Dickens, and I'm at the Chambers Community Empowerment Center, and my role is family and community engagement. Oh, okay. So the purpose and the big picture of today's presentation is on.
Mom is coming to assist.
Okay.
Here comes the young man.
Today's purpose and big picture is strengthening parent engagement for student success. Next slide, please. Why parent engagement? Families strongly influence students' daily life, attendance, routines, and learning. Strong school-family relationships improve behavior and school climate. Family partnerships are associated with higher achievement and graduation rates. When engagement is uneven, outcome gaps between groups tend to widen. Next slide, please. What do we mean by parent engagement? Parent engagement for us is families as partners, not just recipients of information. They are connected to what we're doing. They provide input. They give us reactions and responses. They are the ones that tell us what we need to do because they are the ones who knows best. Engagement is two-way, ongoing, and connected to student goals. When we have good attendance, when we have good parent relationships with the district, attendance goes up, behaviors drop, and achievement goes up for our students. Parent engagement is about information. Families know what's happening and what's expected. Family engagement is about involvement. Families participate and respond. And most importantly, parent engagement is about partnership. Families co-create plans and solutions. Again, they're the ones who has the information. Without them, none of us would be here because it's their children who we are providing services to. Next slide, please. Strategic priorities and alignment to student success. Our priorities, we have 4. Our first priority is to ensure every family is informed in understandable, accessible home language formats. We know that we have different groups in the East Cleveland community. So we need to make sure that all of the groups have the information in their home language, because that becomes a barrier. They can't access services. They can't access resources if they don't have the information. Priority 2, create multiple low barrier ways for families to get involved. So we don't want to just have a one-way parent-teacher conferences one day. We need to have multiple parent-teacher conferences to address parents who have different things going on in their lives. Low barrier ways for family to get involved is in terms of, we have information sharing. What is it that we need from you? Or what do you need from us to make sure that you can attend some of the events that we have? Priority 3, build true partnerships around attendance, behavior, and learning plans. Getting our teachers involved, having them invite our parents to parent-teacher conferences. It's like a personal invitation. You know how good you feel when somebody personally invites you to something? You'll be more engaged, you'll be more enthused about attending. And priority 4, each high-level engagement, and we talk about high-level engagement, effort connects explicitly to attendance, behavior, or learning. Next slide, please. What are some of the current activities that's happening in our schools now? Well, we do have regular parent-teacher conferences that focus on student data and next steps. We have family nights, workshops tied to literacy, math, and behavior supports. We have classroom, school communications, multiple ways. We have newsletters, we have Blackboard, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. So we have different communication apps and apps and portals. And then we have building-based parent ambassadors, connecting families with staff, resources, and other parents. We do a lot of event-focused activities, but it's event-focused activities that we as the staff come up with without a lot of input from our parents. We have sports events, we have musical events, we have dances, we have school tours now. If your child is interested in coming to the East Cleveland City School District and you want to see that fabulous fifth floor at Shaw, you can get a tour. And we can schedule the tour for it. And our parent ambassadors are the ones that actually coordinate the tours for any parent that's interested in having their child come to our district. We have Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday is a Zoom link that we have. And with that Zoom link, it's only a half hour. You can jump on at any time between 12 and 12:30 and get information get your questions answered, get information that perhaps you might think that you're missing. and our fabulous parent ambassadors. We have a parent ambassador at every building. And guess what? They have a 411 information line. 411 information line. What does that look like? That means that there's a telephone number that's specific to our parent ambassadors. You can call that number. If no one is there to answer the phone for you, within 24 hours, you will receive a telephone call back. You can ask any question that you need. If they can't answer it right then, they will get the answer for you so that you can have the 411. We have parent resource guides. And we're constantly adding activities for our parents. So that's what's happening in our schools right now. Next slide, please. Some of the district and community engagement touch points, district points. Our district has a vision and policies that name family engagement as essential for success. We need to make sure that we are reviewing that policy. It has meaning, it has foundation, and then we want to make sure that we implement it. That's what we're going to be doing. We have multi-channel communications. So yes, we have phone calls that we make, text messages, emails, website, social media, but we need to make sure that we have the correct information. As we all know, telephone numbers change quite often, but a lot of times emails don't change. So there's always more than one way to get in contact with our parents. We want to be very intense and purpose about making sure that we have the current, correct information for all of our parents to make sure they get the information. District surveys and advisor groups, parents for parent voice. Our superintendent, Dr. Pettigrew, has came up with a launching the Parent Visitor Learning Experience Survey. That is like creative. It's going to be so that our parent ambassadors would lead. Anytime a parent or visitor come into one of our buildings, it would be a QR code. They can take a few minutes and just complete this survey. I think it's maybe 10 questions. Yeah, it's not very long, but we want to be intentional about what do you feel? How does it look? What does it feel like to you? What do you see in our buildings? And then that information will be put into data, and then we'll use that information along with the other administrators and our zone leaders and our principals to make sure that, hey, this may not be working, we need to do something different. So again, being very intentional to make sure that we are servicing our parents. Some community points. We have partnerships with community organizations to host events and share information. We have Cuyahoga Community College that comes in at Chambers Community Empowerment Center twice a week. They have a dance academy. They have a voice academy. We have the Natural History Museum that comes in once a week that provide learning about animals and things like that. We have the city of East Cleveland that we're partnering with to make sure that they want to utilize space in our building. It's available to them. We have a beautiful community room. We have a beautiful conference room, very professional, I might say, so that you can host your own events in there. They look good. Right. We have free tax preparation. I'm happy to share that. It's an organization that's called Earned Income Tax Credit. They don't want you to have to pay to get paid. But so we're offering free tax preparation, absolutely free. We have senior services. We have a senior group that comes in every Wednesday and walk. They walk the building, they walk the gym. They also have sip paints. So of course we're not giving them any alcoholic drinks or anything like that. But they enjoy it, and then they have a little space of their own for socialization. You'll have to come and see it. They designed it. they keep it up, it has couch shared and things like that in it. So we do have district and community touch points. Next slide, please. What's working well for us? Families in many schools know who they can contact and feel welcome when they reach out. We have events that clearly connect to academics or behaviors and it has strong turnouts. We have our parent leadership roles. We have PTA council. We have our parent ambassadors that provide structured avenues for input. Where engagement is strongest, we see better attendance and classroom behavior. And when we talking about what's working well, we have a leadership that supports parent engagement. Thank you. That's so important. That is so important. We have a district family and community engagement committee that encompasses teachers, that's headed by Mr. Tom Domzowski, and other staff members. We have we work with Mr. Roscoe for attendance, and also Mr. Coy Bush in assisting us with recruitment. Prospect Academy, Caledonia, Superior School of Performing Arts, and Mayfair, their parent engagement rates are really high. Prospect is really high because they have the little people. So parents are there. But Caledonia and Superior and Mayfair is on their heels. Kirk is coming along, but we got some work to do with y'all. It's okay. Next slide, please. Where engagement is uneven and barriers, participation varies significantly by school and grade level. We talked about that. We have working families and non-English speaking families who are underrepresented at many of our events. It's a communication barrier. Communication is still often one way with limited feedback or dialogue. We're talking to them. They're not talking to us. We're telling them. They're not telling us. Barriers families experience, work schedules, don't always. They conflict with our times, transportation, childcare, and limited or no technology access. We have language and cultural barriers, materials that do not reflect family backgrounds, and unfortunately, a lot of our parents have had past negative experiences that affect trust and comfort. It's okay though, it's okay. Again, Prospect, Caledonia, and Superior, they're leading the way. So they've already taken off from the tarmac and they're in the air. Kirk is approaching takeoff. Okay? And guess what? Shaw is on the tarmac. It's okay. At least we're rolling, right? At least we're rolling. Next slide, please. Our next level engagement moves. We're gonna have practical, scalable approaches, hybrid virtual options, repeated offerings, childcare and food at key events. Hybrid virtual options means you can be in person or even we can have them online. Our parent-teacher conferences. We're talking about having parent-teacher conferences for an entire week as opposed to just one day. So that means we're trying to access parents that may not be able to come in the evening, but they can schedule time during the day. Two-way communication. We're gonna consistently use our platforms. Give us a call, use our 411 line. Tell us what you're thinking. We're talking about having town hall meetings with our leadership. Okay, talk about having roundtable discussions with principals. We want to hear from you because you do have a voice. We're going to have quick polls, feedback after every event. So it doesn't matter what the event is, just a small little survey, maybe of 5 questions. We need that feedback. Maybe that event wasn't no good. Maybe they didn't get anything out of it. We need to know about it. Collaborative conferences instead of one-way updates. We want to involve our students in conferences. Give them a 2 to 3 minute, be able to talk about their experiences, what they want to see, what is working for them. Targeted outreach. We want to make sure that we reach our families that are underrepresented, those that have barriers, language barriers, even those who are out of district, but they're still valued. They're still a part of us. So we need to reach out to them as well. Our parent ambassadors and staff focus on families with low engagement and high needs. Attendance, behavior, and academics. Being very, very purposeful. We're gonna track, reach, participation, representation, and links to student outcomes, then refine. So it's constant. It's an ongoing process. Options for in-person, written, and online comments. Personal invitations by teachers and staff to parents. Could you, I know I said there, but could you imagine? I know when I get invited to something, like, oh my God, I got invited to that. That was so nice. And it make me want to come, right? So could you think? And so really having our teachers being involved in engagement, they are definitely a part of it. And then invite student-focused content, student-focused comments. I'm sorry. Some of the other things that we're gonna put in place is we already have started revamping our PTAs. And our PTAs are gonna represent all families. We're gonna have family day events that's gonna be planned by families. We're gonna have a bring your parent to school day. Families do neighborhood walks, so they can share information to other families who may not have children in our district, so they can represent us. Building transition meet and greets. So we talking about the 5th graders that will be leaving Caledonia that will be going to Kirk for 6th grade. So they need to have a transition period, a transition meeting, so that they can meet their teacher. The parents can meet the teacher. Parents can be in the building, meet the personnel and the staff that's in the building to make that transition real smooth. And those that are in 8th grade that will be going to Shaw, that's very critical. That period is very critical, going from middle school to high school. We want that transition to be seamless for our incoming 9th graders. So we're gonna have a freshman night. All the freshmen come together, parents come together, staff will be there to get to know. What are we trying to do? Create a calm, welcoming, and intentional school building.
Yes.
Built on trust.
That's right.
Next slide, please. How will we measure success? More families. Well, how do we know it's going to be working? More families with up-to-date contact information and preferred channels. And that'll be constantly going over, make sure that we have the up-to-date information. Higher parent-teacher conference completion, event participation, and survey responses. So if we have a survey at every event, we will get to know how many parents are attending that, what's working, what's not working. Go back to the drawing board. Better representation across groups. Lower chronic absenteeism, fewer behavior incidents, and improved academic progress where engagement is strongest. We're going to share this with you. We're going to share our results with you and the families on a regular scheduled basis and adjust strategies as we need to. That parent and visit learning experience check-in is going to be very, very valuable because we'll be able to get the information. So what we're going to do is learn, reflect, and redesign for the future.
Okay.
And lastly, thank you to Dr. Pettigrew. Next slide, please. ECC, S, East Cleveland City School District, is the calm, structured, high-growth, early learning pathway where every child is known and literacy is guaranteed, creating a designed flight path from PK through graduation. Thank you for the privilege of your time. I do have one more thing.
We also have questions.
Oh, yeah.
So you
So-
have several more things.
Okay, that's fine. This gonna take a couple minutes. This is my 5th grade report card.
Yours.
Mine. From Chambers
Oh, wow.
And my father was a bishop. And so he got sent off to Savannah, Georgia. And in my 5th grade year. And I don't even know how I got this. But my teacher, Miss LaFlamme and Miss Bongiorno, noticed something about me. Something went wrong. And she wrote in her, on my comment that Faith's grades have dropped. Is there something going on at home that I need to know about? And what had happened, so I'm my dad's first daughter. So our relationship, because he left, he was in Savannah. And he had to go get things done and then come back. But it really had an impact on me. But the fact that my 2 teachers recognized that, the sensitivity that they had to me individually as a student. And they reached out to my mother and said, hey, something's going on. So, just wanted to share that.
Very. Well, I guess I'll start. Excellent presentation. I truly appreciate it. And you also need to thank Ms. Rice, because Dr. Rice is one of the ones who asked if you could come and do a presentation for us.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
The other thing that I had to say to you, why is it that you guys don't have a newsletter going out? Because I live in the community. I didn't know all the things that are going on in this. And you know, I know you personally.
Yes.
I didn't know all that. I know Miss Elder did line dancing with you and me. I was aware of that. I know you taught GED. Are you still doing it?
We are in the process of getting it back up, yes.
I know you taught driving education. These are things our community really want to know about. And I'm sure if we had a community letter to go out, even if you showed each one of those things that you do every single month, and especially say, hey, we're going to have freshman night, come on in, we would definitely come.
Yes, ma'am. I will absolutely work on that, yes.
Thank you. Anyone else here with comments or questions?
Yes, my first question is, what would you say is missing today that may have worked in the past that is no longer with you guys?
When you speak of the past,
Like any programs, anything that was doing that had parental engagement that we had in the past that worked that we may not have now?
Also, tell them how new you are.
okay, that's why I asked about the past. So I've only been with the district for 4 years now.
Okay, so within the 4 years, there were no other parent-teacher, outside of parent-teacher conference?
No, there had not been outside, within these 4 years
Okay.
that I have been in this role. There hasn't, well, I'm not gonna say that. We had activities. So we had a turkey Thanksgiving basket giveaway. We had Thanksgiving basket giveaway. We have a Christmas party every year at the center. We had our driver's ed program that was there. We've had expulsion clinics. We've had 3 expulsion clinics with over 100 people attending the expulsion clinic. With our partners being Earl B. Turner, Clerk of Courts. We had Case Western Reserve School of Law, Kent State School of Law, and Akron University School of Law.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we had Ohio Department of Job and Family Services who came and did a resource fair.
Don't forget bingo night.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
That
not
was
there
a great
anymore.
thing.
That's
Turned out
true,
to be a
that's
big
true.
success.
and yes, we had other events too, like the bingo night. We had several bingo
Trunk or treat,
nights.
trunk or treat.
Yeah,
was
trunk or
yeah.
treat,
Christmas
No, those
parties.
were-
big
Christmas parties.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
guess my question is, you do have some things that did work, but you guys stopped, you're not doing them anymore?
Yes, we still do those. Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
no, that's why I said in the past,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
missing today. That all those things you just named, are you doing all those things to this day?
yes. So we do a lot of events at the center. We haven't had a bingo night lately,
Okay.
but we just had our Christmas party for September. We just had our Thanksgiving basket giveaway in November. That was a huge success. We even had another organization that came. I can't remember the name. I'm sorry, but they gave away 400 turkeys. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question? What happened to the medical facility that was upstairs?
So we are in the process of trying to make that much larger into a wellness center. And so we're in negotiations, gathering partners, because we want to not just only address medical, we want to address mental health issues, we want to address nutrition, we want to address support services like Alcoholics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous. So we want to make it into a full-scale wellness center.
My other question, do you know exactly how many parents are currently involved? Do you guys have a count? Like a consistent count of parents that's actually involved?
Well, it all depends on the activity. Yeah, it all depends on the activity. And that's why I said, like, Prospect is at the top right now with parent involvement because they have the little people.
Okay.
So I have a quick question,
Yes.
based on what she just said as well. Do we have any type of incentive based to build the partnerships with the parents for Kirk and for Shaw? Let's say for like example, maybe the homeroom teachers, you know, they have a certain amount of kids from each homeroom to bring their parents in for parent-teacher conference or engagements that, you know, this classroom will win a pizza party or anything like that. Do we have anything to incentivize
I
the
know,
families or the kids for Shaw and Kirk?
I know Kirk does.
Mhm.
Kirk, as a matter of fact, we have a parent-teacher conference coming up. I believe it's Thursday evening, Wednesday or Thursday, it's the 28th. No, it's not the 28th, it's the 24th.
Okay.
So I think that's
Tomorrow.
But they are having pizza
Okay.
for students who bring their parents in.
Right.
Mhm, yeah. We have to do some work with Shaw.
Yeah.
I think just even across the board, we can do some work because what we want to focus, we want to have at least 90% participation. Even though Prospect is leading the way with almost 75%, we can always do better.
Yes.
I have one last question. Well, actually two last questions. How much collaboration is being done with the Shaw alumni?
Oh, and I didn't put that in there. But yes, we have 2 connections so far. I think it's the class of 1980 and 1981. Those 2 classes have approached me, and one class already gave us a slew of school supplies.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they want to come in and do some tutoring. So we're working with them.
Okay, last question. You mentioned on the slide, the past negative experiences that affect trust. What were those experiences?
Well, you know, that's pretty broad because it could be just that someone called or a parent calls and they didn't get their question answered. And it's how they perceive that. And it could be say, oh, I mean, I called and no one answered my question. I got transferred from person to person. Well, that violates trust. Also, it could be your experience when you came into the building. Maybe someone's having a bad day that particular time and wasn't intentional, but the parent didn't get their needs met. So they walk away and saying, well, that wasn't good. I'm not coming back there.
I was just asking so that maybe those negative experiences could be told and they could be worked on.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why,
If you have feedback from the parents.
yeah, the visitors, the parent and visitors learning experience survey that Dr. Pettigrew is implementing, it would give us that information. Because it's all about what was your experience coming into the building.
That was it. Fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? No. Miss Mary, anything else?
Can I come back to the center?
I thought you put us down. I thought our building was gonna be your building. Okay.
Thank you very much for coming.
Just a couple things.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, and I forgot this.
Not a problem, none whatsoever. Firstly, thank you for a great presentation. A lot of new things that are coming, fantastic. Looking forward to seeing some of those in action, definitely, and I know some are in action already. You had mentioned already about evaluation, you're gonna be doing surveys.
Yes.
And I know that you said you're gonna have a survey after every event. And I guess I'm just wondering, where will that information, is that gonna be readily available to any and everyone? Also, I know that you said that you will be able to determine your level of success by the increased number of parents that come
Participation.
and participate in the various events?
Yes.
Okay, and you're gonna be doing surveys after every single solitary?
That's the idea.
Mhm.
The ideal, because we want to capture the information.
Mhm.
Was this valuable to you? So that we can learn, reflect, and redesign. If it wasn't valuable, it's no sense in we doing it.
You got it, you got it. And your ambassadors that I'm sorry I was late, I was at another meeting that I couldn't. But nonetheless, I'm sure you probably said that. How many ambassadors do you have?
We have 3
You
right
have
now.
3 ambassadors and they are located,
Two are at Lewis.
2 are at.
One for 2 schools right now.
Mhm.
So we have one that is over Kirk
Mhm.
and at Mayfair,
Okay.
2 days a week.
Mhm.
Because every Friday, they are at the center, Chambers Community Empowerment Center.
Okay.
And receiving supervision and professional development and next steps for me.
Mhm.
So, Mr. Miles Jackson is at Mayfair Elementary 2 days a week,
Mhm.
and he's at Kirk Middle School 2 days a week. Miss Jennifer Jones is at Caledonia 2 days a week, and Superior School of Performing Arts 2 days a week. And Miss Latrice Edgerton is at Shaw High School and Prospect Academy.
And sounds good. And I noticed that you are doing some things with social media.
Yes.
Anything that you can share with that about how you're putting things out for these young people who are on social media everywhere all the time?
Well, I look to Arthur, Mr.
Yes.
Arthur Hill for that.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, like our 411 flyer.
Mhm.
Arthur, can you please?
Oh.
And and then I use Blackboard too. He's like, hey, you
Yeah.
are really good at using Blackboard. So I try to send out as much information as I can
Okay.
on a rotating regular basis.
Sounds
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that's it.
I'm sorry, one last thing.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be instrumental in getting the PTA started back again.
Yes, we
That
are. We
was-
are in the process of doing that right now.
That's one of the things I really miss, because we had an active PTA over at Caledonia, and I enjoyed going there and being a part of the PTA. So I'm gonna look forward to that.
Oh yeah, the ambassadors are recruiting parents, even right now, and luckily we have some parents that's interested.
Good,
So
good.
yes, yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to also introduce Mr. Dennis Bunkley. You're looking shocked, dear. Mr. Bunkley is over the Chambers Empowerment Center. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew he came here tonight. And if you have any questions, any more questions that perhaps they didn't answer, you've got Mr. Bunkley. Did you want to say something, Mr. Bunkley? Now that I have said your name?
So believe it or not, I like to talk.
Good.
No, I'm gonna say.
And we
I
enjoy
just have a
hearing
great
you. That's the truth.
appreciation for you, your questions that you're asking, appreciation for the guidance and the leadership and things that you've allowed Dr. Pettigrew to move us towards, and just having a good understanding of the usage of data. When Faith talks to me, we're learning how to actually utilize data. We learn from Schlechte and different approaches that we've taken, that if you always do what you always did, most likely you'll always get what you always got. So with the vision, we're moving towards having a better understanding of the application. What do we do with the information that we're yielding? We have a great appreciation for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And Dennis will come back at the March work session to talk about scenario 5 and school closures and that. He's gonna give a whole presentation with his staff regarding where we are with that. So we'll look forward to hearing more from Dennis next month.
Great. Thank you very much, both of you. If you'd like to stay and continue with the meeting, you're welcome to. But if you want to bust this popcorn stand, you're free to go. But thanks. Okay. Another thing I didn't mention, I see that we have 2 visitors in the house. If you have any comments to make, I don't know if you saw the comment sheets.
Yes,
I
sir.
did, yes, ma'am.
I don't have any comments.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, you did see them?
I flipped it over.
Yeah, we need you to fill those out and give them to Ms. Give them to the treasurer. Okay, the next thing I have on the agenda is discussion. I have a few housekeeping rules that have been broken that the board is not following, the whole board is not following. And I have to bring them up. I had to type down my speech. This is a new year with 4 new elected board members. And they're 4 new, even though she's been here a year, and she's been here, you've been here almost 2. But Shireen, Mary, and Letitia, I mean 3 new board members are on the board at this time. So what I'm trying to do is to get our board to do the boardmanship that we should be doing and that we should have been doing for many years. So I do a lot of reading and checking to see what needs to be done. But like I said recently, several board members or a couple of board members have not followed the directions. On Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 at 10:31 a.m., an email was sent to Trish. That is Dr. Pettigrew's Administrative Service Secretary. A copy was also sent to Dr. Rice. Nothing was sent to my attention whatsoever. And it was involving the security violation and security tampering. A number of issues came up when Dr. Pettigrew and I received the directives from Trish. As a board member, we do not give staff orders. So we can't tell Trish, I want you to put this on the agenda, or I want you to write something. That is the supervisor's job, the supervisor who we hired to do these kind of things. So by the board bylaws 905, governance standards understand the distinction between board and staff roles and refrain from performing management functions that are the responsibility of the superintendent and the staff. Number 2, understand that authority rests with the board as a whole and not with the individual. And number 3, requests to add to the agenda are directed to the superintendent or to myself. I have the second one that I had a problem with is almost the same thing. It was brought to my attention that on February 17, 2026, at 1:11 p.m., Letitia Williams, that is Diane Witt's secretary, again, was sent orders to make a change in an executive statement that was sent out that we would be having a meeting that evening, and she was told that it was not done correctly. She was told that two members had said they wanted an executive meeting, and she was saying it wasn't there, but it was there. So she was told to do something that was not correct. At the bottom of every letter that she sends out, it states that same statement. What I did was, because I wasn't sure, I just don't take their word for it. I actually pulled some minutes or some agenda forms that she sends out. But at the bottom of each one, this is already made up. She don't have to type it in. It says possible board action may occur on the above reference item, or executive session may occur for authorization items under ORC 121.22. This form is already made up. So when she sends it out, it's already there. So she just needs to get something to tell her that she needs to put that on. The other problem that was wrong with this, and I need you guys also to understand, BOE does not stand for this board. BOE goes out to the public, to the television, to the newsletter. So when you sent this back and reprimanded her, you sent it to everybody, making her look like she was not doing her job correctly. She was doing her job correctly. And I think she deserves an apology for that. The third item that I have. Okay, again, my typing, it's a couple of days doing this. Ms. Fountain, you sent out an email and you sent it today.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you are not following established board protocol. Ms. Witt sent the board the forecast on February the 12th and clearly stated that any questions regarding the forecast were to be submitted to her by February the 19th. However, on Sunday, February 22nd, 2026, at 9:07 a.m., you sent her Ms. Witt and copied Mary Sanders and myself, carbon copied me. Your email did not contain questions regarding the contents of the forecast itself. Instead, you focused on what actions would be taken regarding deficit spending. Ms. Witt is not your employee again. Concerns of the nature you raised should have been directed to me so I could place the matter before the full board during the discussion. At that time, the board can determine what additional information is needed and formally requested from the superintendent and treasurer, who are responsible for providing such information. Since you copied me on your email, I will add the concerns as a discussion item to the March agenda. The board will address the matter collectively at that time. And those are my two criticisms that we all have to understand. We cannot tell these secretaries what to do or how to do it. If I wasn't a president, I guess I could, but I never did in the past either. I always respected the president and went to her. And if you recall, Shireen, when you first came on, you were saying something, and I was saying, well, Shireen, don't you think it's best to tell the president first? At that time. So that is it. Were there any other comments or statements?
Yes.
Yes.
So the addressing of the emails after our meeting from Saturday,
Yeah.
I again asked you again, is an email considered a written statement?
No, you as Keys.
I asked you as well. You
Okay.
said yes. And Deborah Rice Keys also said yes.
Mhm.
So I resent the email again and still got the same response. So I don't know what other language or what else I should do to get an answer to the concerns that I had, and I'm still not getting that.
No, you deserve to get an answer. I'm just saying who you sent it to
You were on there. After we had
as
the
a
discussion,
CC.
after So what's the difference? Should it be BCC?
No, it should be Madam President, so that I can bring it before the board. When you give me stuff like that, I have to bring it before the board.
So I was just
Even
told your
can't
name
decide.
should be on there. Y'all didn't say which line to put it on. He told me you should be copied on there, and that's what I did. So I resent it as told by you guys to send it again, but do it in the proper fashion.
You're referring to, let me see, the one I said, Ms. Fountain, again, you established board protocol. You sent the letter to Ms. Witt.
I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about the first emails. I'm not on the treasurer right now.
Okay, I'm sure I have that here too, because I wanted to bring these things to make sure.
After our Saturday meeting, remember I asked, and so I resent this Sunday morning
Right,
after getting guidance from Dr. Keys Wright and yourself.
but what I typed you back was, you have to write up your complaint. Remember I said,
Okay.
you've never said what your complaint was.
Okay, I'll take that.
And I
Okay.
said, please, just write it up, this is what I would do. And
So
give
it was
to
wrote
me.
up in the first email, I'll rewrite it, I'll
No,
write
here's
it
your
again.
first email, look at it.
I have it in my phone.
It doesn't tell us what
I
you're
want the
complaining
detail, I'll
about.
give times and times.
It only looks like you're saying, bring him in front of us so that you can reprimand him. That's what this looks like.
Okay, that's fine what you think
Okay.
it looks like, but what it is deeper than that, and I was trying to keep it amongst the board and the superintendent.
Okay, well, yours is a personal problem. It has nothing to do with the board.
It's not a personal problem, it's a board problem.
No, it's not.
It absolutely is.
Okay,
It
well,
absolutely is.
anyway, the problem is she wants to reprimand the head of security, and
Mhm.
we
It's
as
not
a
just the
board
head
are
of
not
security,
going
it's other
to,
details involved.
we are not
in
going
the
to
case.
accept
We
that.
cannot
Or
discuss,
get
we
involved.
cannot discuss personnel in an open meeting. That's
Okay.
violation of Ohio Revised Code, and as your chief executive officer, I have to inform the board that that's a violation of law. We
I didn't
can't talk
mention it.
about, as board members, we just can't talk about people in their positions in this open manner.
I understand.
The
Okay, but
second one,
those,
I'll go on, because he said,
okay,
not to
those are the
discuss that.
things that I had.
But the
to
board,
bring to
that's the
your
board
attention.
policy and law. So.
Not my personal.
okay, so
But
the
it
second
sounds
one was
good.
the second one was the treasurer that you mentioned, myself, for the email that I sent.
What's in
What
the
I said-
email goes to me. I've been, will present it
The
before the
entire
board
board
to see
was
if
on
it's
the
something.
email.
No. Look. The email should have, it went to, it said, Dear Miss Witt. It should have said, or you should have first sent it to the entire board so that we could review it to see if it was something that we felt needed to be continued.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk about it in the meeting.
But, okay, and my final statement is that I am going to have to remove you as committee chairman of the finance department. There's
vote
too
on
much discretion. No,
We
we
have to
don't. I assign departments.
We have to vote on that, but,
You're no longer the president, but I assign
okay, we want to
committees,
discuss it.
and
Okay.
I have
We
removed
still have to
you
vote on it.
from.
And why was I?
Well, we
When
can-
did we be
As a
voted for you
board,
to
we can
become?
decide whether we want to vote on it or not.
So my question is, why was I removed as chair of the finance committee?
Due to exhibiting poor professionalism and engagement with our treasurer and not showing respect for differing of views and perspectives, I am removing you as chairperson of the finance committee and placing Mary Sanders as chairperson and myself, her co-chair. I am giving you a job. I'm going to place you with welfare and public relations. You seem to
So-
get along with
So
her well.
you're removing me from emotional, because you're emotional about your friend? Is that what we're doing?
No, I just feel that the way that.
That's,
Why are you
it's
saying?
emotional. It seems
I'm
like it's-
speaking with her.
it
I'm not
seems like
talking to you.
I'm
or
still
her.
talking.
Mind my own business.
I'm
I'm
still
trying to
talking.
listen to you, but I
I'm
can't
still-
overhear.
you keep interrupting me as well. I am still talking, I still have the
I
floor,
hear
and I
you.
do
Keep
have a
talking.
voice to speak at this meeting. I asked a question, you answered because the reasons you gave were not valid. And you also said something in the meeting Saturday when we were with Deborah Keys Wright, that I attack or I say stuff to her when I'm just doing my job that the voters gave me to do. So the things that you're saying, because I'm checks and balances now, that's a problem?
You spoke your piece. I'm removing you as chairperson of the finance
We have to vote
department.
on that.
And I have placed Mary as chairperson. Would you be willing to accept that, Mary?
Yes.
Thank you. You are now the chairperson of that committee. I'm offering you the position with Dr. Rice with
I do not
welfare
accept.
and public relations. You don't have to accept it because you don't have to be on any committees.
I do not.
Thank you.
Wow. This is new.
It is new. We've never done this before.
Yes, we have.
Mm.
I wish I could, I don't want to say the name. Oh, most certainly. We removed somebody from all
It was
committees.
a board decision though.
It has to be a
I
board
was,
decision.
I was on the board and Madam
You
President,
don't have to-
Madam President,
Are you over talking?
Madam President, I would
You're
like
gonna
to,
do that anyway.
Madam President,
I
I have
think
a
as the
comment whenever you
president-
have an opportunity to, and I will be quiet
I
until it's
think
my
that
turn,
I
please.
would very much appreciate that.
Mm-hmm, not a problem.
The president gets to put people on committee and say who's going to be on what committee. You will find it in our board and committee report that tells us that.
Okay.
I had to read that to find that out. If they're not getting along, and if somebody feels uncomfortable when they have to come into their position, I'm not gonna accept that. So whether you feel good about it, you have no idea. But when I see a treasurer cry and break down because of her being humiliated and talked to, I will not accept that.
Well, that was never brought to me at any point in time, so when did that
You
occur?
witnessed
Because
it.
it never
You witnessed it,
occurred. I didn't see anyone crying.
because you ran out.
The meeting was
But if
over.
you had,
The meeting was adjourned. So the secret squirrel meetings that's taking place after the fact should not even be presented in an open meeting.
okay, is there any more? You wanted to make a comment?
Yes, Madam President, I realize that as president, one of the things that we do have is that the president assigned the committees. But the president is not a dictator. It is dependent upon, as long as the board the board has an opportunity to vote on it. We are a board. We determine what happens here, not you. We determine. So therefore, Madam President, I move that the committees that have been new committees that have been stated here today, that we as a board have an opportunity to look at those. Right now, as a board, no.
I disagree.
So that we,
I have read what my duties
let's
are.
call our attorney and have our attorney to rule on it for us because we are at an impasse.
It doesn't have to be a let's call, you call.
I will.
I know what the law says.
I
You
know.
have time.
Fantastic, then we will.
So therefore,
So the committees cannot stand until we get an answer
therefore,
to that.
oh no, it stands. You don't have to say.
But the
The
I do.
board does.
Not on this, it says committee. The president will assign committee members. It states the president will assign committee. I am the president. Not only did I, when I began, I didn't necessarily assign, I gave you options. I said, do you think you would like this?
You can
But
ask
when
me
I
anything.
saw that people weren't doing what they should have been doing in committee, now I got the opportunity to remove you from that.
And
to
what
place you
exactly again
somewhere
was I
else.
doing?
Not going through it. I'm done with this particular conversation.
Okay.
Moving on.
So it's on the agenda, we don't vote?
There's nothing you vote for. It's the president's choice. I say who's on what committee.
Okay.
You said you didn't
I
want to
said we
be on
bring it
any
to a vote.
committee, and I accepted that.
I do not.
Well, what you gonna do, make yourself go out to a committee?
I said I do not. If you remove
I
me,
know.
I'm removed, and that's it.
Oh, okay, good. That's where we're at. Thank you, public. Okay, moving on to my
I
next.
just wanna make sure that I got this understood, so this new agenda right here with our
That-
appointed committees
that
for
will
the
understand.
new committee is as stands, building and grounds is myself and Marie. Education is Mrs. Walls and myself. Finance is now Mary, and Mrs. Walls. Welfare and Public Relations is now Mary and Shereen.
Yes.
No,
So we will have to.
Moving right along.
We will
as I
have to get an
said
answer
before,
to, Madam President,
do
I,
what you have to do.
I think that we need to get an answer to this, and this animosity here,
it's
this is, as a board,
I'm not gonna
With-
sit here and debate this with you.
I'm not
moving on with my
debating.
meeting.
I'm-
moving on.
I am not, but
Contact your attorney, contact OSB, but I'm moving on with tonight's meeting.
okay,
Okay.
Madam President,
Next on this agenda,
Madam
that we
President,
finish my discussion. And
I
am
still
finished
have
with
a
my
comment.
discussion,
as a board member,
and I am going into committees.
So do I refinance now?
No, because you didn't go to, oh no, wait a minute, you did go to the meeting. I'm sorry, you were at the finance meeting.
which finance meeting?
With
The
the
committee?
last one was
The committee meeting?
committee finance meeting, yeah.
Just because we're moving forward.
Please.
That's what I'm saying. Do I move, do I?
Yes, as of tonight, you are the new finance chairman.
I am Mary Sanders, Chair of the Finance Committee, and I motion to approve the 5-year forecast.
Can I have a second?
I second.
It's been moved to second, discussion.
The 5-year forecast needs to be presented to the full board.
I thought so. But you do know, it's been says in finance.
I'll say it loud.
So the second was,
That we have the treasurer.
I ask who seconded the motion, please.
Lakeisha.
Thank you. So we're now open for discussion, and that would be me presenting the 5-year forecast.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. So, good evening to the board.
Good evening.
If you will recall on, and I have my date here, I emailed the 5-year forecast
Yes,
to all of the board members and advised that this would be listed under finance, but
February 14th.
yes, I believe that was the date, but that it would be located under the finance committee. So just to start, if the board will recall, and I do have a copy of the resolution, back on March 10th, the board approved a resolution that I presented for frontline education. Frontline education, if you all will recall, is the company that provides budget management analysis subscription, comparative analysis subscriptions, financial planning, analytics subscriptions, and also advised us that we could have up to 5 staff members that use those software tools. When I was asked by the board who used that, I advised at that time 3 of us currently use that. That was myself, Dr. Pettigrew, and Tom Domzowski. That did come through the Finance Committee and it was approved. And the reason why I wanted to bring that tonight is because I needed the board to understand what happens with the 5-year forecast, because there has been so many changes at the state level that probably 250, I'm gonna say that's a low number, school districts use Frontline or some other organization, OpenGov, ClearGov. Those organizations provide the software, which school districts do not own, so that when we upload our information, we do our work in the district, and at the end of each month, after I close that month, we upload that information into Frontline They pull that information and they're able to analyze that information with that software that they have. Not only does the treasurer's office use that, it's also used in this district by HR. That's for our attendance.
Well, so then we're not sending that out for somebody else to do.
No.
So
We
are
don't-
the one.
We
Okay.
don't outsource anything. The only way that the school district can outsource is that it has to first be approved through the superintendent, and then that goes to the board.
Okay, I just want to
Because
make sure we
I'm
don't
not allowed-
outsource that.
Okay, no, I am not allowed to outsource anything, but as I was stating, I did, just downloaded some of the information if the board wants to see it. On these are the types of work that that Frontline does for school districts across the state of Ohio. When we have presented,
She's still talking.
I'm sorry.
when we have presented, information to the board in the past about, comparative districts. When we wanted to see how does East Cleveland fare in salaries and benefits, purchase services, all of that compared to other districts, those are the analytics that we can come and draw from because they have all of the school districts across Ohio that we're able to go in, pull that data, do that research, and be able to bring that information back to the board. Part of what I do, I have a consultant that I work with there. Not only do we do that data entry part, but also what they do is, and I did share this with the board, any legislative updates that may be happening in Columbus, they make sure that we are aware of that. If you will recall, on the last page of the notes that I gave you on, in the forecast, on the very last page of the forecast, it talked about what those things are right now that could be impacting school districts, based on what's going on in Columbus at this time. The ones that were most important for me as I looked at that was property tax reform. As we know, there's some legislation out there that's talking about removing property taxes. There's conversation about that. So of course, as a treasurer of this district, if I hear there's something's going on about that, then immediately I'm going to go and pull that data because I need to understand how that may impact this district, what that means as it relates to revenue that we would not be receiving, so that if that legislation passes, I have to be prepared to bring that information to the board, to the superintendent, so that we all understand that loss of revenue and what that looks like. So when all of that information is uploaded and I have my conversations with the consultant, and I say to the consultant as an example, in this you will see there's conversation about scenario 5. Well, there's no way they would know about scenario 5 unless I told them. So we have those conversations. They include all of those things in this report. And then thank goodness for AI, because now instead of treasurers and superintendents having to sit behind calculators and calculating everything on a adding machine, now we have software, we have those computers, we have AI that create the document for us and the graphs so that it is readable, it's more easily understandable so that we can present those to the district. So that's how I use Frontline. So with that in mind, I would love to pull up, I did, as I said, send this on it was on the 12th because I know it was 8 days that I was asking, giving the board to review the document and respond back by the 19th if there were any questions that the board had after reviewing this. I did not receive any responses about or any questions about the content of the 5-year forecast. So I would like to, and I think you guys can still pull it up, and I want to pull it up as well.
The 5-year forecast you're saying?
Yes, I want to pull this up. I think it's here. There we go. Here we go.
Are you gonna put, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm good?
Yep.
Okay. So, I think it's on page 26. I'm gonna go directly to the forecast right here, page 23. And I do want to actually thank Ms. Eldermeyer, because she did reach out and we had a full discussion and I walked her through the 5-year forecast, and we're going to continue to have those kinds of discussions because it's important that the board understands the work, the kind of work that I am doing, and what these documents actually mean. So I do appreciate you reaching out. So in the 5-year now, I need to say this too. As you can see at the top, it says 5-year forecast. That's because the state is now going back and forth from the 4-year to the 5-year. They have not changed.
4 years.
Remember, I came out last time with the 4-year. And I brought the email that was from the state saying this is what they were doing. And I brought that to this board. And I read that, and I also advised the board that they had changed the dates of when the forecast was due. They changed it now to February and August. And unfortunately, that works for I absolutely did. And unfortunately, that doesn't work for the school district because it doesn't align with our fiscal year, but it works for the legislation. That's who that works for. So I just did this in February. And now, I'm doing it now in February. And if you'll recall, I just did it in October. Well, you're in the middle of the school year. So therefore, it's not the right time period to be doing a forecast because the May date was accurate because you're closer to the end of the fiscal year and most of your expenditures have actually occurred. You only have 30 more days. So now we're in February, and please understand, as I said to us, and I say to us every time I present a forecast is just that. It's an estimate. And if something changes in the legislation tomorrow that would impact the revenue that we're receiving in this district, the forecast would change tomorrow. So it's a snapshot of here's where we are today. Here's the revenue that's coming in today. These are the expenditures that we're showing that we're going to spend this year. And then it is a projection of going through the next 4 years. Here are the things that we know, that we can say there's a possibility these are the amounts of money that we're expecting from the state. We're projecting the amount of money that we'll get in property taxes because you don't know if that will be the actual amount. Houses fall on and off. People sometimes don't pay their taxes. They become delinquent. All of those things are beyond the control of the school board, the treasurer, the city. No one controls what an individual does with their property.
Right.
All we can do is react to, are we gonna receive the money or not? And if the board will recall again, I just brought to you in December the resolution for the advances. Because when the county collects the money early, they ask, can we release those funds to your school district so that you could continue your operations? The board approved that. It was due back to the Budget Commission by December 31st, which I did send that. The board approved it. So, as we look at the 5-year forecast, what I want us to look at, first of all, is the revenue. Where it starts at the very top, you will see actual. That means that is where we ended up ending June 30th of 2025. That's how much revenue came in. It's showing how much revenue was spent, and it's showing our carryover. So if we look at it, it says on 2.080 total revenue and other sources, 52,373,160. It shows total expenditures on 4.50, 44,716,420. And then if you go down to line 5.05, it's showing the total expenditures and other financing uses, 46,865,744. The excess of revenue over expenditures, you'll see, was 5,507,416. Our cash balance, July 1, no levies. What that means is there are no levies that we are anticipating to come into this school district beginning in fiscal year 26. There will be no new levies, so the amount is 19,353,302, and the cash balance as of June 30th, 24,860,719. The 24,860,719 are the dollars that was the actual cash balance in our operating account that was for fiscal year 25 that came into this current fiscal year. Now, let's talk about the deficit spending, because that seems to be a large concern, rightfully so. We are in a district that has not passed a levy now in over almost 30 years. Which means that, number one, utilities, water, lights, gas, sewer, none of those things stayed stagnant for 30 years. They continued to increase. When you look at salaries 30 years ago were at X dollars. They didn't stay balanced or the same. Salaries have continued to rise over the years. Purchase services. What cost us for a ream of paper, as a small example, 10 years ago, you're paying double that for it today. So the cost of everything has increased. The biggest concern with this district is our revenue has not kept up with the increase in the cost of our expenditures, in the cost of salaries, in the cost of benefits, in the cost of inflation, in the cost of purchase services, in the cost of tuition, in the cost of transportation, busing. All of those things have increased, but the district's revenue through property taxes and levies have not increased. What has basically kept this district afloat is state funding, because we are on the guarantee. And that is also in the document. Because we're on the guarantee, right now with the formula that they use, you will see right on line 1.035, that is state funding. So the 26,800,386 that we received in fiscal year 25, that was from the state. If you keep going over fiscal year 26, 26,548,102 was what we received this year. The budget is done every 2 years in Columbus. So all you can do is estimate. That's why we use software. That's why we use AI. That's why we use that to project based on all of those factors that they're feeding into that software. Where do you project we may be? Give me an estimate of where you think we may be in 27, 28, 29, and 30. They're estimates. They can't be anything but. We're projecting where we're going to be, and the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is telling us this is what we must do with our general fund revenue. We need to project where we think we're going to be, where we think our expenditures are going to be, where we think our final cash balance is going to be, because if any given year we are negative cash, they're coming to the superintendent and the treasurer, and they're saying to us, you have a negative cash balance going into next year. We need to know your plan to remedy that. In 2017, I had to do it. In 2018, I had to do it. When Dr. Pettigrew came in 19, we had to do it. And in 2020, that was the last year, because we started getting that budget even more balanced from where I started in 2017. So that's the way that has worked. When we got to 2019 and we looked at that budget, what we said was, you know what? We're going to have to reduce. We're going to have to close buildings. We're going to have to RIF, because there is no new money coming into this school district. Any levy that we would have to put on for this district would be triple digit. And you can't even get into double digit, because no community is going to pass a double digit levy. Double digit meaning 10%, 20. No, they're not going to pass it. For this district, we have about a 12% owner occupancy rate. 12% owner occupancy. The rest of it are renters, and the owners of that property are the ones who would vote for a levy, and they're not going to vote for a levy to increase their taxes. That is the challenge that we have in East Cleveland. So as we look at our plan, our revitalization plan, as we look at our mission statement, as we look at the finances in this district, we make the decision. We're looking and we're saying, okay, these are the things that we may have to do to balance our budget, to keep us afloat. And then what we do, Dr. Pettigrew or myself, is bring that to the board. An example of that is scenario 5. We brought it to the board. Dr. Pettigrew brought that to the board. He brought it to the community. We brought in MGT. We brought in all of these other entities to assist us to make sure that we were presenting the right information to this board. And the Board of Education made the decision, voted to go with scenario 5. There were 5 different scenarios. This board said, we're going with scenario 5. As a result of that, scenario 5 had a $4.5 million, I believe it was at the bottom, $4.5 million, $3.5 million for renovation, getting buildings ready, putting HVAC in a building, all of that. Well, guess what? Because we knew that was coming, it goes into your forecast.
Yeah.
So when you see purchase services go up, well, understand, board, you voted for it. So we have to show you, here's the impact of what's gonna happen based on what you voted on. Because these are the dollars, general fund dollars, that we have to spend on that. The biggest cost, if you look at our purchase services, our biggest cost is tuition. Tuition being.
Can you
the-
explain
the-
that? Explain
Yes,
to us.
tuition being those students that live in East Cleveland that go elsewhere. Or we've got those students that need services that cannot be provided by this district. And we have to have them outsource or them go elsewhere for those services. Those are purchased services. We pay somewhere between $4.5 million a year for those services. You will see all of that in the document, in the notes that I gave you. All of that is located on page 17. Overall, the forecast reflects cautious yet steady growth in purchase service costs. The district anticipates greater reliance on external services. We do, because there are those services that we cannot provide. Continued tuition obligation, because that is what the state of Ohio requires. If they are a resident of your city, but they have to go someplace else, like any students that might be that in Carrington Youth Academy, we have to pay for that child to be there out of the funding that we receive from the state. So all of those things that the board has approved and the things that we are required by law to pay, those are the explanations that I have given to the board so that we all understand the position of where we are at this time. For salaries, as an example, I build into the forecast a 2% because guess what? Because of negotiations. Now, can the board afford that at this time? Absolutely not. We can't, because we're at the point now, we know where we are.
Mhm.
We know the things that we're talking about that we have to do. So that's not gonna be one of the considerations that we look at, because we will need those dollars for operations. Healthcare continues to climb. We were able to negotiate 3 years straight of no increase. 3 years straight. And we were able to utilize money that we had in this Jefferson Health Plan because we're in a consortium. So there were dollars based on that consortium that we did not spend. And it was like, okay, if you keep this amount of a cushion, it protects you from having higher healthcare costs. We were able to contain that 3 years in a row. This is the first year last year, October of last year, we accepted a 5% increase when they were requesting a 9%. And we ended up negotiating it down to 5% because our savings level, we still kept at 1.9 million. Our healthcare costs, especially those catastrophic ones, are very high.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about that, but we have to be built in this forecast is increases for healthcare. This district provides medical, dental, vision, and life insurance for every full-time employee. All of those costs are contained within this forecast. So as you look from year to year, you may see some modest increases. You may see some larger increases based on where we're projecting things are going. Now, this forecast has to be approved tonight because they said it has to be uploaded in ODE before the 28th. I need 3 days of processing because you don't mail it in. This is an automated system. So all of this information has to be uploaded. It goes through Connect, our A-site, then it goes up to the state websites. If anything is wrong, there is a website that I go out on and look to let me know whether it's accepted or whether there's a concern. If there's a concern, I've got to go out there and I've got to fix it before the 28th. So as we look at the forecast and that first year, if you look at line 6.010, all of that is representing how much deficit revenue over expenditures. So that's what we're getting from, I'll call it our savings account, okay, to cover these expenditures. Now, I'm going to say this again. Will it change? Absolutely. It's going to change because we're closing 2 buildings. There are going to be some other reductions that will be happening. And those reductions, once they occur, they will get dropped into the forecast and it's going to change everything you're looking at today. That's the way it works. It is not a stead, it's a moving target. And I keep saying this to the board every time I present the forecast. It can't help but be a moving target. When 97% of our revenue or 80% of our revenue or 70 or 60 or 50 is not coming through property taxes, which is the most stable, residential taxes are your most stable taxes because houses are going to be there. Businesses move and fluctuate. They come and go. But a house will be there for 20 years. So you can get revenue from that house. I'm saying all of this to us because you see this today. And I'm guaranteeing you, I'm telling you, once we drop in those changes, once we look at what those deductions or reductions, the amount is going to be, those numbers will get dropped in here. And then the number that you see that by fiscal year 2030, the $4.9 million balance, I need for those of you who have been on the board, it's probably going to be Dr. Rice and I think Ms. Walls. Back in 21, we were having this same discussion. Numbers start changing. Balances start going up
Right.
because of reductions That's the way it happens. You see this today, and at the next forecast, I think it's August 1st, it's gonna look different. Because there'll be reductions in there now. Because what happens with healthcare will be in there now. Because your salaries will probably go down, benefits will probably go down because of the reductions that are going to happen this year that we have already minimally told the board are going to happen, and that the superintendent and the treasurer will be bringing before the board. But at today, this is our forecast. Today. This is what the state wants to see. There are other things that we have to be concerned about. There's a law now that says if your carryover encumbrance is equal to or more than your incoming revenue, they're going to reduce the state revenue that you receive. Now, you know the problem with that? This is the way this district survives. This is the way, by having that carryover, because we don't have new money coming in. We don't have new levies coming in. This is the way that this district stays afloat. Now that's getting attacked.
I'm saying state's cutting funding.
Yeah.
For the school district.
So all of that is what I am presenting to the board, telling this board, here's what's happening today. Here's why our numbers look the way they look. Here's a document that's showing you exactly where every one of those, where that revenue is coming from, where those expenditures are. The monthly report gives the monthly finance, the cash report that I give you. It shows you fluctuation from month to month. And I say to us, don't pay too much attention to that because next month it's going to change again. It's according to the spending, how we're spending, what we're spending those dollars on. But do understand, we're not just spending. These are budgets contained within these dollars. Those budgets are in our systems. We know what we're spending. Based on the standards for the superintendent, it's the superintendent's budget. The treasurer is responsible for the monitoring of that budget. The board is looking at this budget, saying to us, okay, we see what's going on here. Is there ways that we can cut? Because the people who are working in the district are the ones who have to do that work. Because we know the services that are needed for our students and our staff. So as we look at this forecast and you see that $4.9 million in fiscal year 2030, that number will change August 1st when you see this forecast again. Because again, like I said, numbers are going to get dropped in. The closing of the 2 buildings, the reduction of the utility costs, all of those projected amounts will get dropped in, and you'll see where we're saying we are at that time. And then we'll look at fiscal year 27, 1 year at a time, because this district, and I've said it over and over, we can't produce revenue. All we can do is continue to change what happens internally to save dollars so that we can continue. And if the state cuts, if they are successful in getting rid of property taxes, that's an approximate almost $10 million that this district will lose. So the homeowner might be happy that they don't have to pay that $1,500, but the school district will suffer as a result of that.
We don't want that.
The school district will suffer because the state can't make up. There's a report out already that shows how many billions of dollars this district, not the district, the state would have to create or find to make up for those property tax revenues that have been lost to the school district, the city, the fire department, the library. Everyone will be affected by that because everyone gets a piece of that dollar.
$2.86 billion.
Thank you. So the bottom line is, this is where we are today. This is the forecast and the notes that I need to upload to the Ohio Department of Education starting tomorrow. I need to start that upload. So now I will answer,
Or questions.
yes,
Did you understand? Probably better than me, because you are a business owner and understand all that.
And I call the questions.
Mary, you have a question?
Sure. My question is, who does the analytics now for the 5-year forecast?
all of the analytics, the processing of the paper goes into the software from the information that is sent from this
Yeah.
school
Right.
district
Right.
up to the same way we do it with our A-Site Connect, as an example. When our accounting system is not East Cleveland City School District accounting system. The accounting system is no different. The accounting system is sitting at Connect, our A-Site. USAS is the state, the one that we use. USPS is for payroll, and USAS is for accounts receivables and payable. All of that information goes up into those servers, into that software, and through that program that's on all of the employee desktops, I can go in and run reports
Sure.
from Connect.
Okay. And
The
what's name
same
of the
way I
company
can go
again?
into Frontline and run reports from Frontline.
What did they used to be called?
Connect?
No, Analytics Frontline.
No, they used to be
Forecast 5.
Forecast 5 Analytics.
Right.
Forecast 5, it's
analytics.
the same.
And they check, right, so that's who does our analytics, is that what you're saying?
Forecast 5 Analytics was bought by Frontline.
Right,
So all they
Ryan
did,
and those guys, right?
Ryan Gazzoni,
Yeah, that's
and I
right.
still work with
I know,
Ryan. I still
saw
work
him
with
not too long
Ryan
ago.
Gazzoni. It's the exact same thing.
That's who does our analytics.
They don't do our analytics. As I keep trying to say,
We send information
We
to them,
send,
and then what do they do with it then?
they analyze it. They put
Oh,
it into the computer.
Yeah, okay, thank you, I got you now.
Right.
So we send our
I don't give him
information
my
to them, and they do the
information.
analytics.
Right. I don't give him my information and then they sit there and create everything. That is not what's happening.
You just said they do the analytics. That's all I needed to know. I thank you very much for that information.
You're welcome, and here is the information if you would like to see that, and I described it and said that's
They
exactly
changed
what
the name of the company, or you said
Absolutely.
they somebody bought them out or something?
Frontline
Yes,
bought out Forecast 5
okay.
Analytics.
All right.
It's the same company that I have been using since I got here.
Mhm.
It was the company that was being used before I got here.
Right. I just,
Forecast 5,
thank you
and all
very much. I
treasurers
just
use
needed
it.
to
All treasurers use them.
And I was real surprised that you shared that I thank you for sharing that information with us. But I know I've sat through many of the explanations for the forecasts, for the 5-year forecast.
Mhm.
You always do a very good job. I'll be the first to say of explaining the information to us. It's I haven't heard of the name of the company for a while. And I was just, I saw that you mentioned that today. I kind of expected it, to be very honest, but thank you very much.
Well, it's just like I said, you all approved it, and here was the resolution, you just approved it for me in March.
You got it.
It's the same one that this board approves this company every single year.
Right.
Because it's a year-to-year contract.
And basically, you do all the work and you
Yeah.
tell them, print it up.
We send it up,
Yeah.
we send the
They
work,
send the
we
information,
send,
they do that, and then
we
add
send
analytics.
our
Yeah.
information,
And
what
they
we,
see
what we put in, the money that we receive.
Mhm.
They send that up, processes it. The state says, this is the framework. The state of Ohio says, this is the framework that I wanna see this in.
Mhm.
They have the software that's attached to the state software so that when they create this, here is what they created the way the state wants to see it.
Mhm.
When I submit this, load this information, just so you can see it, when I load this information and send it up to the state, when I send this up to the state, I wanted to show you, I don't have it on this computer. It's 15 rows of nothing but numbers.
Sure.
It's not what you
And
see.
they put it in this format because they have the software. I know I have a friend in Shaker that ours look very similar to theirs because it's
They all
similar.
look the same because it's state
Right,
software.
And so therefore, it makes it easier to understand the format that it's put in.
That
And the analytics are always on point.
right.
Mhm.
That's it's the
Yeah.
same. Like I said, I know at least over 200 school
Sure.
districts
That do.
that use this
Mhm.
because it's aligned with
What the state
if
has.
you'll remember back in 2021, we had to change the software. We either had to go with redesign or we had to go, there were two other ones that had crosswalks with them. We chose redesign because that was the state version. So we went with redesign.
Mhm.
This is the,
We get it. And I just have one other question. Good. What year, how much COVID money did we get?
we received,
And the
Just a
second
second.
part to that question, when did
we
we first
received,
get it?
the first year, we received 2.1 million.
Okay,
The second year, with the guidance from there's always mandates on how you can spend the money.
Mhm.
Second year, it was 8.9,
8.9 million?
yes,
Yeah.
8.9. And then the third year, I think the grand total that we got was around 18 million.
Yeah.
That's why the superintendent was able to redo this entire district,
Mhm.
every classroom, textbooks, HVAC, roofs,
Yes.
all of that money, all of that, our money we got from the feds, that
Federal money.
federal
Yes,
money that we
absolutely.
use went right back into
Mhm, the district.
the district,
Mhm.
the students. That's what the superintendent said, this money is going to be used for these, he said the babies, but for these students in this district. And that's what we did with those dollars, and we actually, the superintendent did bring that each year,
Yeah.
how that money was being spent.
Right.
He brought that each year, and
Yes.
that's the way it was spent. And then the feds, of course, they have to do their monitoring. As the board is aware, we are monitored, we are audited by the state of Ohio. We get a gap audit, which I brought Zupka, remember the board for the gap audit? Zupka and Associates, because the state, you said we had to use a third party
Yes,
vendor.
and we chose
I brought you the letter,
I think it was
I
three that
showed you
showed us.
the list,
Mhm.
and I selected Zupka.
I recall.
Yes, so we have the gap audit. The state of Ohio comes in every year and audits every single penny that is spent in this district. The board is asked every year if you want a pre-audit meeting and a post-audit meeting. That happens every single year. Once they come in and we get audited, then they bring the report back. They talk to the board about the management letter. They come directly to the board. It is a closed meeting. It is not a public meeting, and that's by state law. You have, you get the management letter, and if there are any citations that are issued because of anything that has been incorrectly submitted in these systems that we use.
Have we had any citations?
No.
Awesome.
Now, when I came in 2017, when I came in 17, every audit they had prior to that, under someone else, was horrible. When I came, the auditors told us that. We sat in the meeting, and I worked with the auditors to clean up this district's financial situation. It took 3 years, because every time that I don't audit, they audit. That's the state. The state comes in, they have access to those same systems that we use, and they pull our data. And they look at those transactions, and they say, bring me a copy. They'll give me a sheet with 50 items on it. I want to see every one of these documents. I want to see the vendor, who was the vendor, how they get paid, what was the evidence, all of that. The state auditor does that every single year. The audit takes about 4 months. The audit is then, the board knows, that post audit, then the audit is out on the auditor state's website. That audit is out there. It's public information. We have not had in the past 3 years. We get management letters, everybody gets a management letter. Is just a recommendation. I saw this. I'll give you an example. They said, you have money sitting in old accounts that you haven't touched. You need to figure out what to do with that money. That was an audit recommendation. Guess what? It's still sitting there. You know why? Because when I went to the state, the state said, we don't know what that is. That's too old. That's from 2002, 2003. We don't have those anymore. We don't have that anymore. So I'm sitting here, I take that answer to the auditors and say, this is what the state said. So you can't blame us for not spending those dollars until we figure out what is it that then we're going to have to do with those dollars. Where do we need to send them back to? Because when that grant happened, when that grant was in 2002, they didn't spend all the money. Mm-hmm. So it sat there and nobody did anything. I came in 2017. Then the district in 2004, 2003, you went into financial distress. Yeah. State takeover, because this district was upside down. And you stayed in state takeover for 10 years. Because the state had to give money to this district to pay your salaries and your benefits, because this district had approved a contract that had been signed by the treasurer, but we did not have sufficient funds to cover those.
One second. Madam President, could you please let the audience know that they cannot respond while the treasurer is talking?
Oh. Could you please not respond while the treasurer is talking?
So In
And
two
are we
thousand,
finished with the 5-year forecast?
pardon?
Are we finished with the 5-year?
No, we're not.
I
Okay.
think that's still going on.
Well, that,
Continue.
so in 2010, it was 2000, and may I suggest to the board, if you go out on the Auditor of State's website, all of this information is out there. I think it was 2011 when the board finally got out of financial distress. And it was turned back over to the district again. When I came, we know what was going on, I don't have to say. And what I did was took it from there to bring this district back to where we are today.
I appreciate that very much.
So what I do need though, the start of all of this, what I do need is the approval of the 5-year forecast so that I can submit it to the Board of, Board of Education and Workforce.
Board
Thank you
members,
very much.
board members, I motion that we approve the 5-year forecast.
Can I have a second?
It has already been moved and seconded, and we were in the discussion phase.
Discussion.
And I have to find it now, because it's down here. Here we go.
Is there
Here we
any
go.
discussion while she's looking?
I have
Yes,
it.
on page between 12 and 13, when you mentioned the ESSER funds that weren't used, where are they now?
There were no ESSER funds that were not used. We
No
used,
ESSER funds?
no, we used all of the ESSER funds. That
Except
18
for the
point
one.
something million, no, that was not ESSER. That was not ESSER funds. All of the ESSER funds were used.
Those-
The 18 point something million, all of that was used.
Okay.
Mhm.
That was both of your lines? Ms. Reed, you said you had 2 lines that you wanted to ask her about.
Oh, the other one, I think it was page 17, about using too many external services. What is the plan to stop using so many external services moving forward?
I don't have the answer to that.
Or when you get a chance, can you get it to the board?
Well, no, that comes under the superintendent about see, that's special education, things that we use. And I don't, that falls under the superintendent.
Okay. And then on page 18, need to shift focus to launching new initiatives.
Number, page 18,
It was 18.
okay.
Is there any plans on starting new initiatives that'll shift focus on more saving money moving forward for the
Yes, one of the things that the superintendent has indicated to the board, that we will be bringing that plan to the board, in March or April. We are bringing that plan to the board. We've already advised the board of that.
Okay, and then the 1.7 million in building improvements, has that been completed and is all that money?
It is not
Completed.
completed. That's why it rolls over into the next year.
Okay, you have,
If that was under, part of that is under the scenario 5.
Right.
And, Dr. Pettigrew gave us a grid that showed when HVAC was gonna be done and what year it was going to be done in. A lot of those things that we're talking about now are coming up this summer, that they're going to happen.
so I guess my question is, the schools that we're closing, we're spending 1.7 million in some of the building improvements?
Not
The
in
buildings
those
that we're
buildings.
closing? Okay.
No, not in those buildings at all. No, this will be, for where everyone's moving to.
Okay.
Those
The
improvements have
improvements are being done?
yes,
Okay.
to accommodate where they're going.
And again, I'll be bringing a presentation to the board at the
Yeah.
March work session. That'll be exhaustive. That'll show you that we're in scenario 5, we're in phase 4 of scenario 5, and we'll walk through that. Dennis and his staff will come and give us a lot of that conversation.
That was one of the many questions. I sent him all the questions that we had at the work study, and it was approximately 15. And I sent all of them to him. He responded immediately, and I asked him if he would do a work study on those. So if you have more questions or you don't understand, you can ask him in March.
Okay, so I do have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
The questions I just asked you, were they hurtful or anything of that nature?
Were they hurtful?
Yeah, did they bother you, me asking questions?
They were not hurtful. But one of the things that happens or should be happening about a board, whenever information, and I'm saying this to you as a 25-year veteran, as a treasurer, when information is requested by a board of education, it is requested because the board has requested that information because they knew they need to use that information, number one, to make some kind of decision, number two, for some kind of vote. So if the full board, and Dr. Rice, you have been in conversations with us on this board about this before, that if a full board does not request that information, then that is not information that should be presented, because not just one board member should be privy to information that the whole board is not privy to at the same time, because you're all making those decisions.
Okay. You might wanna say that one more time.
And not to mention, Shireen, you presented yourself with questions. That's what she said, give me questions, so you.
I always give her questions, but you say I asked too many or
Well, the questions,
let me be in, was on the committee that I was asking too many questions or
Never.
the checks and balances, it was just too much.
No, that's not true, because any member can ask questions. You
But
don't
I
have
was
to
the
be
only
on
one
the committee.
Questions.
Anyone can ask.
the
Um,
questions,
Is this about the
to
five-year
be
forecast?
fair, the questions that you were asking were questions when we were in
Excuse me,
committee.
hold on, excuse me, you asked me a question?
I did not.
Yes, is this
I did not ask you
was a
anything.
5-year forecast? Yeah, it is.
The questions that you were asking, we would have a committee meeting. I would send you everything that was going to be on the board agenda. And your questions came out of that because, of course, as the board member, you were presenting those for approval to the board. So that's fine, because we're in committee, these are the things that we're discussing, so that's fine.
Okay.
We need
That
to vote.
concludes the
Do
5-year.
we vote?
Wait a minute, I just want to ask her
And
if she's.
voting
finished with
is
the
now
5.
open.
Okay.
Dr. Rice?
I don't, it didn't come up.
It didn't come up? What's your vote, please?
I got
Everyone else has voted?
Yeah, what's your vote, please?
I'll give my, I'll give my vote in a minute. I'm trying to, what are the other votes?
Dr. Rice, a member's vote is not based on what other people have voted. It's your
Believe me,
vote.
how well I know.
So it
How
doesn't
well I
matter.
know. I wanted some information. I can't ask questions or information.
Someone else's vote, I think you should call OSBA about that. You absolutely should not be doing that.
I believe, are they up here? Are they on the screen?
Yeah, they are on screen.
And I can't ask?
Can we
Dr.
please continue with this? We just need an answer.
Ms.
Yea
Wall
or
said
nay?
yes,
I
Shereen
put
said
my
no.
We should not, that
I
is
said
illegal to do that.
Okay.
That is illegal to do that. I'm just asking this board,
You're right.
if the state is sitting here looking at us, they're seeing you do these illegal things. I'm just trying to ask you to
You're right, I
please
do apologize.
not do that.
Okay. Yours isn't coming up. Can you give
No,
her a
it didn't
verbal?
come up, it didn't come up.
Would you please give her a verbal answer?
I most certainly will. I'll give you a verbal, but I'm just wondering why my vote didn't come up.
You see everybody, do you see their name there on the screen?
Madam
I don't
President,
know why it didn't come
do I
up.
need permission to go to the restroom right now?
You're excused.
Okay, for the 5-year forecast,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes for the 5-year forecast,
Thank you.
Ms. Witt. But I still have,
All
wait
votes
till-
are in, motion is passed.
Thank you.
I just have one other comment, regarding the 5-year forecast.
Yes, ma'am.
I just found it quite interesting that you, shared the name of the company that we outsourced our analytics to.
I do not
I just found
outsource
that-
analytics.
I just
That's
found that,
not,
I just
Dr.
found
Rice,
that.
I'm not gonna let
That
you
time
do
is
that.
past, I would like
I'm
to
not gonna
move
let
on
you
with
do
the.
that.
Excuse
I'm not gonna
me,
let you do that.
excuse me, please.
No, will you excuse me, your
No, I
president?
will not. I
Please, Mayor.
will just finish my comment with you, Ms. Witt, and I'll just say thank you
Ms.
very
Witt,
much.
please do not respond anymore.
I
I would like
thank
to
you very
move
much.
on. We understand.
Mhm.
Wow,
Thank you.
you're gonna be right.
Moving on. Welfare and Public Relations is next for report.
Thank
That
you.
will be Ms. Rice.
Mhm. Uh, hmm. As far as welfare and public relations are concerned, we had a meeting. That meeting consisted of, Ms. Witt and, Stephanie. And, while we met, no, I'm not gonna be disrespectful, Ms. Witt and Mrs. Wall. At any rate, there were a number of, policies that had to be, distributed to the various committees. And I can't seem to pull up,
Welfare and Public Relations.
Excuse me,
okay, here we go.
excuse me.
Yes.
The policies are not the
Oh, not
resolution.
policies,
This is for the property tax.
Okay,
If you'll
There you
recall,
go.
if I may, Dr. Rice, if you'll.
I'm using her computer now.
If you'll
Mine is not.
recall,
So
in
now that-
the meeting, it was 3 resolutions that
Thank you.
by state law, as I advised in our meeting, I have to present those to the Board of Education. That's a new law that was just passed. That the legislation have now said that if there is a property that wants to go before the Board of Tax Appeals, now it has to go first to the board, and the treasurer must read that resolution into the record. And then, Friends Ward, we all know that's the property attorney that we use to represent the district, will then represent us in the court hearings for these properties. And that's what we discussed in our meeting.
Do you remember that?
I do remember, yes. At Welfare and Public Relations, resolution authorizing the filing of an original complaint against the valuation of real property for tax year, 2025. And, was that Neela Cresper? Madam President, first let me ask you, do you wanna share any additional comments on?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
I don't know, do that during discussion?
Well,
Okay.
no. We're looking for the motion.
Madam President, I move that we, pass this, resolution.
I second.
It's been moved in second. Discussion, please.
Now, Ms. Witt, can you share some insights?
Absolutely. So, because of the new law that has been passed that says now, as we all know, property taxes went up. So that if any resident wanted to challenge that, they had to submit that to the Board of Tax Appeals. At that point, the district is notified. That's part of the responsibilities of the treasurer. The district is notified that this has been challenged. Their property taxes have been challenged. Franz Ward then is the company that the board approved. Franz Ward then does the research on that property, look at what they are challenging, the amount that they're challenging, and then they represent the district. It has to be the attorney that represents the district at that hearing. What the law states is that the treasurer must enter each of those resolutions separately, stating the address of that property into the record. So the first one that you just stated is it says the Board of Education of the East Cleveland City School District, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, met in a special meeting on 23rd of February 2026 at the offices of said board with the following present. And I will have all of your names on there. The treasurer advised the board that the notice requirements of revised code 121.22 and the implementing rules adopted by the board pursuant thereto were compiled with for the meeting. In this case, whoever moved would be for the adoption of the following resolution, whereas, and I'm only going to read through one, and then I can tell you the addresses only of the next two resolutions, because they all read the same. Is that okay with the board?
Yes.
Whereas revised code 5715.196 permits a Board of Education to file an original complaint against real property for tax valuation purposes with respect to property that the board does not own or lease if certain criteria are met, and whereas the board desires to authorize the filing of such a complaint for the property designated below, and whereas the property was both sold in an arm's length transaction as described in revised code 5713.03 in the 2 years before the tax lien date of January 1, 2025, as evidenced by a conveyance fee statement or otherwise recorded in the office of the recorder or similar government offices during the 2 years, and the sale price exceeds the true value of the property appearing on the tax list for tax year 2025 by both 10% and $567,000. And whereas on February 13th, 2026, and pursuant to revised code 5715.19, the Board of Education was sent written notice by certified mail to at least one record owner of the property at the last known tax mailing address for the property, and if the tax mailing address differs from the street address of the property, by certified mail to the street address, stating the Board of Education's intent to adopt this resolution, the proposed date of adoption, and the basis for the complaint under revised code 5715.19 relative to each parcel identified in the resolution. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Education of the East Cleveland City School District, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, that Section 1, the Board of Education authorizes the treasurer and the superintendent to take all actions necessary to file an original complaint pursuant to revised code 5715.19 and for the following property: A, identification of parcel by street address and by permanent parcel number 15951-15965 Neela Crest Road, East Cleveland 44112, permanent parcel number 673-18-041. B, name of at least one of the record owners of the parcel, Neela Crest Gardens LLC. Basis for the complaint under revised code 5715.19 relative to each parcel, recent sale. D, tax year for the complaint will be filed, tax year 2025. Section 2, it is found and determined that all formal actions of this Board of Education concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this board, and that all deliberation of this board and of its committees that resulted in such formal action were adopted in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including revised code 121.22. Then I will put in who seconded the motion, and then upon roll call, the vote, what the vote was, and I would list that on the sheet. And then it will be signed by myself and the board president. And I've also attached for each one the copy of the letter that was sent to the resident from me. All of that is attached. So now the resolution that is open, that the board is voting on is the parcel 673-18041, Neela Crest Gardens LLC. And are there any other questions regarding the first resolution?
You explained it thoroughly to us in the committee meeting.
Okay, voting is now open. Ms. Stepmy Walls,
Yes, because I don't have my.
yours
screen.
didn't come up?
No,
Okay.
well, my
Yeah,
screen,
different
I
screen.
should change my screen.
Okay, all right, well,
Let me change it back.
your vote was a yes, am I correct?
Okay. Shit. Right, I guess I did. You gotta go back in. Gotta go back in? Okay.
I will put you in, Ms. Stepmy Walls.
Please do. Mhm.
All votes are in, motion passes.
Next resolution. The next resolution is a resolution to authorize the filing of an original complaint against the valuation of real property for tax year 2025.
You need the motion?
I move that we adopt this resolution. Have a second? Thank you.
I
It's been
second.
moved in second. Discussion.
The address, it's the same resolution,
Yes.
the exact same, numbers. And because it exceeds the 567,000, the identification of a parcel by street and by permanent parcel address is 15401 Plymouth Place, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112. The permanent parcel numbers 673-04-013. Name of at least one of the record owners of the parcel. Again, it is 15401 Plymouth Place LLC for tax year 2025.
Vote.
Are there any
No.
questions?
That was the discussion.
Okay. And online voting should be open. All votes are in, motion passes.
And the last person. This is a resolution authorizing the filing of an original complaint against the valuation of real property for tax year 2025. Madam President, I move that we adopt this resolution. You have a second? We moved to second discussion. Did you read that address for us, Madam President?
Yes.
I mean.
Okay,
identification.
Identification of parcel by street address and by permanent parcel number 13955 Superior Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44118. Permanent parcel number is 672-28006 and 13965 Superior Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44118. Permanent parcel number 672-28-008. Name of at least one of the record owners of the parcel, Superior and Lynn Drive LLC. Based on the complaint under revised code 5715.19, recent sale, tax year 2025.
Okay, there are no other discussions? Can we have a vote, please?
Online voting is open. All votes are in and motion passes. And I was kind of moving slow. I had one other tax. Just 1 second, please. Okay. So, the meeting, that I also had with, Franz Ward, I will not read the whole thing, but if any board member wants to review this, you can. It's regarding, Euclid Circle property. There is no vote on this at all. This is for information only to the board. The subject property, let's see, we have received a settlement offer related to a case currently on appeal at the Board of Tax Appeals. And according to our attorney, I do not recommend accepting the offer for the reasons discussed below. We reviewed all of those reasons and I had to agree or not agree. I did agree as responded. Yes, I agree with the recommendation rejecting the complainant's offer. I can pass this around so each of you all would like to see that. And, pardon me?
Can I have a copy?
Sure, it's public information, I'll get you a copy of it, but that is the work of the treasurer to review all property, and make that decision based on the information presented to the treasurer with the attorney. And in that one, I certainly did agree.
Okay.
So, and yes, at the end of the meeting, I'd be glad to get you a copy
And
of that.
since there's no vote on that, we're going to.
There is no
make
vote.
sure
That's
everyone gets a
information
copy
only.
of it then.
There's no vote, information only.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the executive session. I will entertain a motion to enter executive session under Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1 to consider the employment and compensation of public officials, specifically the treasurer, Diana Whip, and the superintendent, Dr. Henry Pettigrew, second. Can I have a motion?
I second your motion.
No, you first.
Did you make the motion, Ms. Eldermeyer? No, I'm serious, I
said,
didn't
can I
hear
have
her.
Yeah. I asked if someone could
I'm
please
sorry, I didn't hear
give me
her.
a motion, make a motion.
Okay,
Did you hear Letitia say yes?
I didn't hear a second.
Can I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. It's been moved in second. Therefore, we're going to executive session.
And voting is now open to the board to go into executive session.
Okay, and good people, you know we'll be coming back in if you want to come back after our executive meeting.
I'm gonna take a quick break today.
Can we please
We
do
gotta
the
vote.
online vote,
We're not out
please?
yet.
Can we please do the online vote? And the board is now in executive session.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're out of executive meeting and we're going into special meeting. Ms. Witt, would you please call the roll?
I need a motion, please.
Can I have a motion for the roll, to return into special session? Okay, now would you please call the roll?
I didn't hear.
Motion to return to regular session.
Okay.
And she's sitting right next to you.
Hmm?
And she's sitting right next to you, and I heard her.
I didn't hear a word.
I didn't say anything. I just
I
said
know,
it just
I think you
now.
did.
I guess I didn't.
Mm-mm.
I was waiting on somebody else.
Right.
But motion,
Okay,
and
I need a second, please.
I second.
Thank you.
It's been moved to second discussion. If not, then we will return to special meeting. Now will you call the
May-
roll?
There is the online voting is open.
Do we have anybody else in the waiting room, Dr. Pettigrew, or did they leave?
They're gone.
All votes are in, motion passes.
Thank you. Okay. I want to stay, I don't see it on here, but anyway, we did come to a decision to vote tonight on the position of the treasurer. So I will need to get a consensus on whether or not we are going to say yay or nay for the president. First, all in favor of keeping the treasurer as we have her. Can I?
it don't show up on the,
Hmm?
it don't vote on the computer?
I don't think so, because she didn't put it up here.
Well, it's because
It's
they did
supposed to
not, they didn't put the
We didn't have a
motion
decision.
on here, so I will have to write this motion down and call the roll. So what is the motion,
And
please?
is it supposed to be a resolution as well, right?
No,
No.
it's just a motion.
Can you have a motion that we make a vote for for the treasurer?
What is the motion?
Right. Is the motion to renew her contract or to
Yes,
continue
renew her
on,
contract.
to renew the contract or to not renew the contract? It needs to be like spelled out correctly.
Yes, this way.
Okay. I'm just trying to help, okay?
Yeah,
You can
please do,
disregard everything I'm
please
saying.
do.
The last motion that had been on the table was the motion to authorize the president to negotiate with the attorney regarding the treasurer's contract. But you can't vote on my contract because
Until you
I
get it.
haven't seen it and you haven't seen it. And it's a negotiating tool. It's a negotiation. It's not what I want or you want. It has to be negotiated,
Okay, so we need to see that.
right?
So we should
So
not
that's
vote.
what I need, the approval that I tried to get a week ago for negotiation.
Well, that's what I'm just
So
saying
we
to the
should not
board.
vote until we see the
Let me-
paperwork from Pebble and
So
Wagner,
then we need to
correct?
have another executive session on another day, because that's what y'all saying.
The dates are, the dates are, coming fast. Remember, we
And
missed
me
the
and-
March.
Me and Mary are going to Columbus for,
So, are we, okay.
so y'all let us.
The question is only
Should I
if
negotiate
you're
your
authorizing
contract?
the president
To negotiate
to
the contract.
enter into conversation with the attorney.
Legal department.
So that's what has to be in by March first, not the actual approval of the contract.
Actually, it is the approval, but you can't approve what you haven't seen.
Right. So
You
you will
have
come
to
back
see
for,
it.
yeah, with
You
your
can't
terms.
approve, oh, you should not approve, I should say, what you haven't seen. So, and that might be talking against myself, but that's just the reality of it. So if there is a contract that this board wants to see, what should happen is the president of the board should go to the attorney and say, we want to talk about the renewing, if that was the board's pleasure, my contract for X number of years. They would then share that with me. Nothing is done. It has to be negotiated with me. The president will then bring that document back to the board for discussion and approval or rejection.
So then it would be the term. So right now, what should I put on the floor as far as the vote?
Well, your motion, the motion that you're putting on the floor is that the board has given you the authority to speak with the
Legal
with the
department.
district's attorney
Mhm.
regarding the treasurer's contract.
But
That's
we
it.
did that already.
To approve or not approve?
Right, I thought that, I don't know,
You
we
can't
got,
approve a contract that doesn't have numbers in
But,
it.
No.
but I'm saying
whether we're gonna offer a contract or not.
right, that's what I'm saying. If we're going
That's-
to
that's-
approve or not approve the offer of offering a contract or not, we have to make a motion to say that tonight. Is that
Mhm.
what we're doing?
Well, yeah, because it wouldn't make any sense for her to go to the attorney if the board's desire is not to approve a treasurer's contract. Or not to engage in a treasurer's contract. She would have no reason to go to the attorney.
Right.
So give me
So,
the terminology for what I should
so
say.
it's a motion to enter into the conversation. No. This board is voting whether or not they want to retain the current treasurer
Yes,
and enter into negotiations. That's the motion.
that's it.
The motion is to retain the current treasurer.
Or not.
No,
No,
to
if you
retain
retain
the
it, then you
current.
voted either up or
You,
down.
yes, you
Right.
vote yes or no.
Right.
Retain the current treasurer
Oh,
and authorize the president to enter into negotiations. Is that correct?
yes.
You said authorize negotiations.
To enter into negotiations with the treasurer. Understanding that nothing is approved until it comes back to the full board.
Treasurer, could you read that?
The motion
for me?
to retain the current treasurer and authorize the president to enter into negotiations with the treasurer.
Can I have the vote down?
No, you need a motion and you need a
Okay.
second.
Oh, I asked you to do the motion. That's what I thought you were reading.
I
for me.
can't do a motion. It has to be
But
a
you
But
board.
at the end, you said until it.
So I don't have to read it again,
Understanding
just make a
that
motion.
Nothing is approved until it comes back to the board.
Well, you don't have to put that in your motion. But no contract is valid until the board approves it. The treasurer's contract cannot be valid until the full board approves it. The board has to approve it.
Okay.
Didn't you say they can say yes or no?
Once I get somebody's gotta move, someone's gonna
That's what I'm gonna
second,
say.
and then I can call the roll.
Okay.
Okay, motion to retain the current treasurer and authorize the president to enter into negotiations, understanding that nothing is approved until it comes back to the board.
That's not the motion. It's,
But that's what we wrote.
no, I wrote, that's what I wrote and said right there.
Wait a minute, I gotta say this thing, so let me see this.
No, you don't have to say it, Madam President. Any board member, as a matter of fact, you are presiding.
Right.
You read quite a number of motions, but you were, presiding while you were reading those motions.
Then let's make a motion.
Ms. Totten gonna make the motion, she's reading it, so that she can say the motion.
So you said don't say the other part.
Hmm.
Don't say the last part.
Because it's no good unless the full board has to vote on it.
Oh, sorry.
That's, yeah, I was getting ready to write your name.
Okay, motion to retain the current and authorize the president, wait, we missing the word, is it treasurer?
Treasurer, yes.
It's not on your.
It's not on my paper. Mm-hmm.
Motion to retain the
Current
current
treasurer.
and authorize the president enter. See, that don't sound right to me. That don't sound right to me.
What doesn't
It say
sound right?
motion to retain the current treasurer and authorize the president to enter into negotiations with the treasury.
Yes,
Enter
That's
into
what you're doing.
negotiations with the lawyer, the board
they're not
attorney.
negotiating, they're not negotiating with the lawyer, you're negotiating with the treasurer.
Oh,
Okay.
that is right.
Right.
That is right. She's,
Okay.
to negotiate. Okay.
Okay,
Motion has been moved.
and we
Can I
need a
get-
second?
Can I hear a second?
A second.
We moved in second. Can I?
Call for the vote.
Ms.
Discussion.
Fountain?
She said call for a vote.
Oh,
I'm
no,
calling
discussion.
I have to call for the vote.
Okay, I know that, it has been moved in second. We don't have a chance to say a comment?
Oh, I'm
Yes, you-
sorry. I thought.
right.
All that
I just-
discussion.
Basically, I just wanna make sure that I understand, from that motion there, and if you say yes, that means that, we will, the treasurer will continue, more or less. If you say no, then that means that you're, not affirming the treasurer. Is that
That is
correct?
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Fountain?
No.
Ms. Sanders?
Yes.
Ms. Eldermeyer?
No.
Dr. Rice?
No.
And
Ms.
Ms.
Wallace,
Stepmy
yes.
Walls? Motion does not pass, which means that my, contract is up effective July 31st. If I do not, quit before then.
Madam President,
Motion to
I move that we adjourn.
Yes.
Can I have a second?
I second.
It's been moved in second that we adjourn this meeting.
Who adjourn, please?
Mayor
I'm
Rice.
sorry, you'll have to understand for somebody who's done nothing to just get that. I'm a bit emotional. So who
I
moved,
totally
please?
understand.
I
Who
understand.
moved? Who moved?
I move
please?
that
Thank
we
you.
adjourn.
And the second on the adjournment?
Was Ms. Eldermeyer, I thought.
I thought Ms. Rice did, I mean, Ms.
It don't
Ms.
matter.
Sanders did. but I
No,
voted
I'm
yes.
not.
Say
No,
no,
I have to do it correctly.
See you adjourn.
I didn't do anything.
Second.
Oh, you did? I
We
did
need a
not.
second.
What do we need?
I second,
Just a second on
There
that.
it is.
I second.
Ms. Eldermeyer said.
Okay, and we will call for the vote.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Ms. Eldermeyer?
Yes, one moment, I'm logging back in. I
Oh,
apologize.
well, I can just call your name.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And we are done.